So today I'm continuing on my series analyzing the Oscar-nominated films for animated feature film and going over each year and saying what I think about the different nominees and which one I think should have won and if I think the right film won. And this video we're going to be talking about 2005. And 2005 was a very strong year for this category. I really love all three films. It was extremely difficult for me to pick which one I like the best, and I had to nitpick just a little bit. Maybe the last year we ever have where there is not a single CG film that is nominated. The first film I'm going to talk about is Howl's Moving Castle.
Presents a Studio Ghibli production of a Hayao Miyazaki film.
Hold on.
To amazing new worlds.
Find me in the future!
Aboard Howl's Moving Castle.
And this is a film that was done by director Hayao Miyazaki. This is based on the novel by Diana Wynne Jones. It's about a girl named Sophie who works in a hat shop, and one day she gets lost. She ends up getting rescued by a man named Howl who has he's sort of a sorcerer kind of, and he has a castle, a moving castle. She ends up going there, and it's sort of a Wizard of Oz kind of story. It's the only way I think to describe it. There's a wicked witch. There's a fire that actually is a character that's kind of the power of the castle, named Califer, who is voiced by Billy Crystal in the US dub. And the girl, Sophie, gets a curse on her where she is becomes an old woman. And when she's a young woman, she's voiced by Emily Mortimer. And when she's old woman, she's voiced by Gene Simmons. Howl is voiced by Christian Bale. And the Wicked Witch is voiced by Lauren Bacall. And it's a very strong voice cast. I thought they did a great job with the dubbing. You would hardly even know that it is originally in Japanese. This movie is beautiful. It's random. It's exciting. It's a lovely story. I really like the character of Sophie. I think really interesting. And she's just a very heartfelt, emotional character that you really feel tied to immediately. The only flaws that I would say in the film, I really like it, is I think that it's a little long. It's 2 hours long, which is pretty rare in an animated film. There are definitely sections that drag a little bit, and I think there are parts that don't really make sense. You don't really understand why particularly the witch, she changes personalities at certain times, why the curse comes and goes, why all of a sudden she's young, why all of a sudden she's old. There's not like the Wizard of Oz in the sense that Wizard of Oz has a very strict kind of narrative. They're going to get the broomstick of they're going to the Emerald City, and then they're going to get the broomstick of the Wicked Witch, and then they're going back. And so there's sort of this very strict kind of narrative. In this, it just sort of feels like people will come in and out, and sometimes you'll see the scarecrow for a while, and then other times you won't, and you don't know why, where they're, but it's great. I love it, and it's gorgeous. It looks so beautiful. And then the next film that was nominated is Tim Burton's Corpse Bride.
Maggots.
Comes a tale of wit, charm, and strife.
I'm not dead.
About a timid young man and the love of his life.
Victoria!
Tim Burton's Corpse Bride.
And this was a film that was sort of built on the shoulders of The Nightmare Before Christmas, which was a Disney film, and this was actually released by Warner Brothers, Corpse Bride. I didn't know that for years. I thought it was a Disney film, but it actually wasn't. And Tim Burton didn't actually direct Nightmare Before Christmas. That's kind of a misnomer. He produced it, but this he actually directed. And I really love it. I think it's great. It's stop motion animation, and it's about this character, Victor, who's about to go into this arranged marriage with this girl named Victoria. And Victor is voiced by Johnny Depp. Victoria is voiced by Emily Watson. And their parents are very scheming to try to help both of their fortunes and their standing in society. And so he's at first really depressed about having to go into this arranged marriage, but then they meet and they have like an immediate connection. But then he gets kind of nervous and scared, And he ends up going into the forest, and he's practicing his vows, which he couldn't remember. And he's practicing his vows, and he slips, just practicing, slips the ring on a tree branch, and it turns out it's actually a corpse, and he's just gotten engaged and married to exchanged vows with a corpse bride, a woman who was jilted on her wedding. And that's kind of where the story starts, and it goes from there. The corpse bride is voiced by Helena Bonham Carter, and it's really well paced, and I love the music. The music's by Danny Elfman, and I just think it's so great. It's really fun. It's really scary at times. It's funny at times, and it's also really beautiful. Victor's piano suite is one of my favorite piano numbers in any movie ever. I love that many kids' movies that I feel like has sort of soft spoken, and quiet but not mousy lead characters. Like, they're strong and they're opinionated, but there's just something about them that's sort of very quiet and soft spoken, and I liked that. I think that was really cool about all three of the main characters are kind of like that. And so that was unique. I feel like a lot of kids' films, they're just shouting at you. And, you know, I don't think this movie is quite as good as Nightmare Before Christmas. That one has a little bit more of an inventive story, but I think that this is very strong. It made my top 50 animated movie countdown, and so it's great. The last film that was nominated is Wallace and Gromit: The Curse of the Were-Rabbit.
The most terrible rabbit problem.
How on earth would they ever catch such a big rabbit?
Oh, come on, Gromit. A bit more alluring.
Wallace and Gromit: The Curse of the Were.
This is written by Nick Park and Peter Lloyd, based on their very popular Wallace and Gromit shorts that they would do. And it's a delight. It's, again, very well paced, kind of like Corpse Bride. This one is a comedy. It is about the inventor, who is Wallace, who has come up with a way that he is going to capture all of the rabbits that are eating the gardens and farms of the townspeople that he lives by. And they are all getting ready for the great vegetable contest to see who can grow the largest vegetables, and they're very, very ardent in it, but the rabbits keep coming and eating their vegetables. So it starts from there. There's the lady who runs the festival is named Lady Tottington, and she's being courted by a man that is voiced by Ray Fiennes, and who wants to just hunt the rabbits, but she wants them to be treated kindly. And so that's sort of the setup, but it's so funny, it's so well written, it's beautiful with that claymation, it's got just that British dry wit that is always enjoyable. I think it would be fun for the whole family. And Helena Bonham Carter plays Lady Tottington, so she's in both of Corpse Bride and Curse of the Were-Rabbit. So she really liked the music by Julian Knott, and just even the bunnies, they look so cute, and there becomes kind of this mutant bunny that, so there's sort of an element of mystery about it. There's a great character that is sort of a priest in a church, so he's really funny. Which one do I think should have won? It's really tricky. Like I said, I really like all three, and they're all three so different. I'm really glad that Wallace and Gromit won, because I really feel like it was their one shot for Aardman to get an Oscar, because for whatever reason, they've really fallen out of favor in America, and people have just forgotten about them. People don't really like them. With Shaun the Sheep, I couldn't believe how bad that film did. And it was really cute and had great reviews, and it was in quite a few theaters, but nobody went to see it. No one knew about it. So I feel like Wallace and Gromit was their shot to win an Oscar. So I'm really glad they won, because it's a high quality film, and I just think they deserved it. But on the other hand, if I was just picking on which one do I think is the best film, I've really thought about this a lot, and I watched all three again to make sure that this is what I believed. But I think The Corpse Bride is the best one of the three, because I just think that music adds another level that makes it better than the other three. That it has humor, it has heart, it has great visuals, great design like the other two have. But for me, just that music is so wonderful, and I love musicals, and I think that anytime that a musical works, that's always going to just put it a little bit over the top for me. So that's my choice, but I can totally see picking the other two. I think they're great. Let me know what you think about these 2005 films, which one you would pick, and why in the comments section. And thanks so much for participating. I've really enjoyed this series. I love all the comments that we're getting and the discussion. It's awesome. So thanks so much, and hope you're having a great day. Please subscribe to my channel, and talk to you later.